Alrighty, so they just dropped the extended patch notes. We're going to go over those really quickly. Really, I just want to see... I assume that this is just going to be... Yeah, so we're getting the exact same thing. I was almost wondering if they were going to do less days for us, since New Year's is in like a couple of days. Like New Year's is in 1, 2, 3, like 4 days. I don't know. If it's a New Year's login, I figured, I don't know, whatever. Either way, we're getting 10 full days of 30 diamonds, which is 300 diamonds, which is really nice. Thank you for that. We are also getting Final Boss Jericho and Gila, which is pretty easy. Like, I mean, you shouldn't have any issues beating this thing. I'm going to try to make a video on what the best team for JP was whenever the patch goes live. So that way you guys can maybe have somewhat of a decent idea on, you know, what team to use to try to go for like high scores and stuff like that, so that way you can hopefully get it done early, so that way you don't have to worry about it later. But obviously, as things progress, and things definitely differ sometimes from global to you know, JP and stuff like that, because we have a lot more players on global, there could end up being some crazy strat that they end up coming up with on global that ends up blowing the JP scores out of the water or something like that. You never know, but we'll try to go over that a little bit whenever the patch drops. The Final Boss Exchange Shop actually has Gother's outfit, which is kind of cool. Just some other, you know, regular sort of stuff, nothing crazy. They are time limiting some of this stuff, which is kind of annoying. I would recommend, if you're like me and you really hate doing Final Boss like every single day, just try to, like, I'm gonna try to find a team that you can farm really fast with. I'll try to make a video on that as well, but just try to get a team together that can farm it, blow through it as much as possible. Like, as long as you have the drive to keep playing it, I would recommend just doing it a whole bunch in a row, or just like over the next couple of days, so that way you don't have to worry about like farming it when you don't want to, because I know that you know, them time limiting some of these like rewards and stuff like that can be really dumb, because you get on the game and you're like, I don't have enough currency, I don't want to grind this right now, and it ends up being like, I don't know, kind of annoying. But yeah, for me, I just try to blow through it as quickly as possible, as many times as possible, so that way over the next couple of days I can just buy the stuff out of the exchange shop, not worry about running the actual thing, and then I'm good to go. Obviously there's going to be different kinds of rewards for you know, how you place. If you've been playing the game for a while and you have the units for like the top team and everything, it shouldn't be too hard to get maybe like top 10% or whatever, but obviously, you know, there's a lot of players on global, so I don't know, you may end up needing to get a pretty decent amount of like score to like secure like a really high placing, but yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Other than that, it looks like they're doing a cumulative points award, which basically just means that you, like, each time you beat the final boss, you'll get a score, and it'll go into the cumulative score rewards, and once you reach 30,000 complete like total earned score, you'll get all of these rewards, which is pretty cool. Obviously you can grab them beforehand, but whatever. An exchange shop for the new hot pass is going to have some Christmas decorations, which is kind of cool. I'm assuming these are, I guess they're, I mean, it says new, so I'm assuming these are for the season 3 tavern. I'm not positive on that. They could be. If not, it is what it is, but I don't know. They've you know, with the last ones that they came out with, they were doing some season 3 stuff, so that's kind of cool. But let's talk about the banner, because obviously this one, I mean, most people are going to probably skip this banner. I could completely understand that. It's not really that great of a banner. Should you summon on it? If you have the extra diamonds, it is a step-up banner, so it's only going to be 242 diamonds to get through the entire thing. That gets you a guaranteed copy of Liz. If you can pull her early and just dip out of the banner, that would be cool too. Or if you're trying to get something specific off of the banner, so if you don't know how step-ups work, the second multi and the 7th multi are 1 diamond, so they basically get discounted, which is why they're always kind of like cool to get, because we never get step-ups anymore for whatever reason. It's always 600 or 900 mileage banners, which is really annoying. But 2 and 7 are discounted to 1 diamond, so those are really nice. If you want to, sometimes people are just more willing to just do the first multi and then throw the 1 diamond at the second multi, because you basically get it for free, and just see where you land with those 2 multis. it never hurts, I guess. If you want to save your diamonds completely though and not worry about it at all, I can completely get behind that, because the unit itself isn't great. If you don't know, basically she's going to be a sub-slot unit that is going to go into your sort of like Fort Solgris team, like whatever team you use for farming the time-limited dungeons, because her passive makes it to where when you're farming time-limited dungeons, you do 40% extra damage depending on how much extra HP the enemies have. It's very specific, so this is not going to be a unit that everybody's going to want to have. I don't know if they end up coming out with new time limited dungeons and stuff like that sometime in the near future, she may become more useful, but at the moment it's not really all that crazy. There is a guaranteed SSR multi at 5, and then you do get her completely or like you get her guaranteed at the 10th multi, so that's why it's, you know, kind of nice. It's not that many steps, not that many diamonds. You get a character within 300 diamonds, which is really nice. So the banner itself is pretty decent-ish, not crazy good, but it's not awful. New Liz is obviously the one that you would want, I guess, from the banner, if that's the one that you're summoning for. I normally always tell people not to summon on a banner if you're not going for the guaranteed character, because chasing non-featured characters is pretty hard to do. Like, it's really hard to recommend somebody do that, because, you know, the rates in this game are low. So Green Liz is pretty decent. I do really like this Green Liz. She's helpful for Grey Demons and Belmoth. You could also use her in some of the other like limited time raids and stuff like that they do. Like, I know whenever they do the like the 7 disasters, like raid battles or whatever, as long as your team is completely green and meets the requirements for her passive, you can use her in that kind of stuff, which is really cool. But I don't know, a lot of people aren't hitting on Liz a whole lot. I actually do like this Liz quite a bit, so that's one of the only reasons why I'm going to be summoning for the red Liz. But if you're not interested in her, I completely get it. The green Arthur, this Arthur's pretty good if you don't have him. He's actually pretty good for a lot of PvE stuff. Zaratros is actually getting his PvP relic this patch as well, so that's kind of nice, I guess, if you don't have him. I wouldn't recommend chasing for him. He's kind of an old unit and he's not really good for a whole lot besides maybe Belmoth, but that is what it is. Blue Matrona, I don't think I've ever seen anybody use her for anything except for maybe some guild boss stuff. I don't really think she has a whole lot of use. I think there's one final boss that she's actually good for as well. I can't remember which one that is off the top of my head though. Death Pierce is fantastic as a subslot unit for a lot of teams if you don't have him. Denzel is actually not good. I mean, well, I say that, but there's like weird like cheese strats that you can do with his like weird corrosion stance stuff. I don't know. I've never actually used the character for anything specifically, so I wouldn't recommend going for a Denzel, but if you don't have him, it is what it is if you're trying to collect. Elat's pretty okay in certain game modes. Bellion is actually worthless because he's really old and just doesn't have any specific use. Blue Easton's good. Blue Lily is also pretty good, but really old, not really used for a whole lot, so the banner is kind of meh. I wouldn't really recommend summoning for a lot of these units because a lot of them are kind of old at this point. They're not really units that you would need nowadays. If you have like a lot of the newer festival units and stuff like that, most of them are going to be able to take care of anything that these characters could do. So yeah, draw with diamonds, of course. I'm assuming they're probably going to have some like ticket bundles or something like that in the shop if you really want to. Don't know if I would recommend that or not. They have the ultimate animation. She deals shatter damage. She is a single target only attacker, which is kind of interesting. And she has pretty decent multipliers. Like this one does shatter damage, which ignores resistance, which is kind of nice, I guess. And then this one actually doesn't have an effect on it, but it does deal 600% damage, which is kind of nice. And then she has a shatter ultimate as well, which is the same as the old Liz. But yeah, it is when an ally uses a skill in a time-limited dungeon, deals additional damage equal to 40% of the enemy's HP increased by unique or buff. So super specific. Not really sure a lot of people can get behind it. Completely understandable if you don't want to summon. I'm going for the character because I like Liz. I already have UR gear for Liz, and I want the costumes for Liz, so that seems like a not great reason to summon. I can completely understand that, but it'll also future-proof in case they come out with new time-limited dungeons. Maybe it'll cut down on time for me for farming time-limited dungeons. She just seems like a decent utility character, and she's cheap enough with it being a step-up banner for me to say, okay, I'll go ahead and summon for it. But for most players, I definitely don't recommend summoning. I don't think that she's really going to be all that great. I don't know. We'll have to see down the line if they end up coming out with a new time-limited dungeon. But that's pretty much it. Don't have anything else to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys in the next one, which should be, I would imagine, it's probably going to be a final boss video sometime later tonight when the patch drops. And then tomorrow, I'll probably end up doing or releasing a summoning video because I don't think I'm doing live summons tonight. It's such a short banner. It's not going to be worth it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.